My name is Rachel. I am 31 years old. For 8 years, I believed my husband and I were building a happy future together. His name was Daniel. We lived in a small apartment in Chicago. Life wasn't perfect, but I thought love was enough. Daniel worked as a sales manager for a large technology company. I worked as a cashier at a neighborhood grocery store. My salary was small. His salary was much higher. Still, I paid half of our monthly bills. I cooked every meal. I cleaned the apartment. I washed the clothes. I did everything I could to support our family. I never complained. I believed marriage was about love, respect, and teamwork. Every morning, I woke up before 6. I prepared breakfast, packed Daniel's lunch. Then I hurried to work. After my shift ended, I stopped by the supermarket. I bought groceries for dinner. Then I rushed home. I cooked, cleaned the kitchen, finished the laundry. By the time I sat down, I was exhausted. But seeing Daniel smile always made me feel better. At least, that was true in the beginning. Slowly, Daniel began changing. He became impatient. Nothing I did seemed good enough anymore. One evening, I came home carrying 2 heavy grocery bags. Daniel looked at me. Then he looked at the bags. "That's all you bought." I smiled. Everything was on sale today. Instead of smiling, he laughed. "You always think small." I frowned. "I don't understand." He stood up from the sofa. "That's your problem. You never understand. You work as a cashier. You'll never become anything." His words felt like a knife in my heart. I stayed silent. He continued. "You have no ambition, no talent, no confidence, no future." I lowered my eyes. "I'm doing my best." He shook his head. "Your best isn't enough." Those words stayed in my mind for weeks. After that day, his criticism became a daily habit. "The apartment isn't clean enough. The food is cold. You should earn more money. You should be smarter. You'll never succeed." Nothing I did was ever enough. One Saturday afternoon, I found a brochure for evening business classes at the local college. I carefully brought it home. "Daniel, I've been thinking. I want to study business after work. I want to build a better future." He stared at me for a few seconds. Then he burst into laughter. Not a quiet laugh. A loud laugh. When he finally stopped, he looked straight into my eyes. "Business. You. Don't waste your time. People like you never become successful. You'll always be ordinary." I felt tears filling my eyes, but I refused to cry. Quietly, I folded the brochure and placed it back inside my bag. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing Daniel's words over and over again. Then I made a promise to myself. One day, I would prove him wrong. The next morning, I enrolled in the evening business program. I didn't tell Daniel. During the day, I worked at the grocery store. At night, I attended classes. When I came home, I studied until midnight. It wasn't easy. Some nights, I fell asleep at my desk. But I never gave up. Months passed. Then one evening, Daniel came home smiling. "I have good news. I've been promoted." I smiled. "Congratulations." He looked at me proudly. "You should be happy. Now people will finally respect us." I nodded. "I've always respected you." He rolled his eyes. "You don't understand success." His words hurt, but I stayed quiet. A year later, I graduated. I finished at the top of my class. I was proud of myself. When I showed Daniel my certificate, he barely looked at it. "That's nice." Then he returned to his phone. I realized something. He didn't believe in me. And maybe he never had. A few weeks later, I applied for a small business loan. I rented a tiny office. It had one desk, one chair, and one old laptop. That was all I could afford. During the day, I still worked as a cashier. At night, I built my business. Slowly, customers began to arrive. Then more customers. My company started growing. Every dollar I earned, I invested back into the business. 3 years passed. My small office became a real company. I hired my first employee. Then 5. Then 20. Soon, our company became one of the fastest growing businesses in the city. We moved into a beautiful office building. I became the CEO. For the first time in years, I felt proud of myself. Meanwhile, Daniel's company began losing money. Several departments closed. One morning, he came home looking worried. "They're laying people off." A month later, he lost his job. For weeks, he searched everywhere, but no company hired him. One afternoon, my assistant walked into my office. "We have a final interview for the operations manager position." I nodded. "Please send the candidate in." A few seconds later, the door opened. I looked up and froze. Standing in front of me was Daniel. His face turned pale. He couldn't believe his eyes. "Rachel." I calmly smiled. "Good morning, Daniel." For several seconds, neither of us spoke. Finally, he whispered, "You're the CEO." I nodded. "Yes." He looked around my office, then lowered his head. "I never thought you would do this." I replied quietly. "You once said I would never become anything." Tears filled his eyes. "I was wrong. I'm sorry. I treated you terribly. I thought success was about money. But I lost everything." I looked at him calmly. "No, Daniel. You didn't lose everything. You threw it away." The room became silent. Finally, he asked, "Can you forgive me?" I smiled gently. "I forgave you a long time ago. But forgiveness doesn't mean we belong together. I've built a new life, and I'm not going back." Daniel slowly nodded. "I understand." He stood up. Before leaving, he looked at me one last time. "I'm proud of you." I smiled. "Thank you." He quietly walked out of my office. This time, I didn't cry. I simply watched him leave. Then I turned toward the large window. I looked at the city below. Years ago, someone told me I would never become anything. Today, I had proved them wrong. At that moment, I realized something important. Never let someone else's words decide your future. The people who doubt you should never define you. Believe in yourself. Work hard. Stay kind. And never stop chasing your dreams. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for listening. See you in the next English story.